Welcome in, fans, to the historic David E. Hastings Stadium. It's a pretty sunny night here in Guelph, and hopefully these two teams can keep the heat up as we head into the chilly evening. Joshua Alderman and Noam Streifer on the call here today. Noam, how you feeling?
Josh, I'm feeling great. Driving to Guelph was awesome, and I'm really excited to watch two great baseball teams here in the Welland Jackfish and the Guelph Royals.
No doubt about it. This is going to be a fun one, and there is a bit of a storyline heading into tonight's matchup. Of course, last season in the Dominico Cup playoffs, these two teams met in the semifinals. It was the Guelph Royals against the Welland Jackfish, and how did that one turn out?
Yeah, well, I'll just get to it right off the bat. Guelph had a great series that time. Taking down the defending champion Welland Jackfish. They won all three of their road games, including a 12-3 blowout in their winner-take-all Game 5. And highlight player of that series was Andy Leader, who hit a 3-run home run and 4 RBIs in that last game.
So, without a doubt, the Welland Jackfish are looking for revenge as they step back on to Guelph's home grass. And the Jackfish have had themselves a very hot start to the season. 8 wins, just 1 loss. They are 6-0 on the road. Now, what do you expect from the Welland Jackfish tonight?
I mean, I expect the Welland Jackfish to put up a commanding performance. Their known starting rotation has been one of the deepest in the IBL by far, and their lineup is, for lack of a better term, incredibly long. They have great hitters up and down there, and I think it's going to be a tough matchup for the Guelph Royals tonight.
I think tough. That's the word to focus on right there. These Welland Jackfish, they are no pushovers. They are a tough customer. So with that in mind, let's take a look at their starting lineup. Kicking things off, shortstop Jonah Weisner, followed up by center fielder Gio Morello, first baseman Mateo Porcelato hitting third, catcher Robert Mullen hitting in the 4-hole, followed by third baseman Jake Sanford, right fielder Brandon Hyde, DH Grayson Barrett, Caleb Fewerstake, and second baseman Brandon Luther round out the visiting lineup. And of course, we still have a few seconds left to go before things kick off, so let's take a look at Guelph's defensive lineup. Starting out in left field, we've got the Roadrunner Ashton Patterson, followed by J.D. Williams out in center. Andy Leader, the player of the game in Game 5 of that last series against the Jackfish. He's out in right field. Nellis, Morrow, LaRue, and Takamatsu round out the infield, left to right. Jordan Taylor is your starting pitcher, and catching for him tonight is Matthew Ward.
Yeah, I mean, I like the lineup that Guelph has set up tonight. I think middle of the order bats really, really strong, and I'm really excited to see what Jordan Taylor is going to bring to the mound tonight. He's had an all right season so far. 8.2 innings pitched with 4 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. Not bad for IBL standards in a high offensive environment. And we're going to get started now.
Yeah, as we mentioned, kicking things off will be Jonah Weisner, the shortstop for the visiting Jackfish. And quite a few Jackfish fans in the stands showing their support tonight. Always a good traveling fandom. You love to see it. Taylor taking his time with that first pitch. Really wants to settle in. Gets set and delivers. That one chopped on the ground. Takamatsu fumbles it, flips it to Taylor, who takes it to the bag himself, and just like that, one pitch is all it takes. Already an out here in the top of the first.
And I got to say, nice play by Garrett Takamatsu to keep himself in front of the ball, keep it in control, and get the play at first.
And that's going to bring up Gio Morello, one of the many returning Jackfish from last year's squad. Like we mentioned off the top, looking for revenge.
Morello, he did his undergrad at University of Charleston, played NCAA Division II baseball. As there's the first pitch.
First pitch does drop in for a ball, 1-0 count. Taylor set back again, a fastball chopped right on the ground to guess who? Garrett Takamatsu takes it to the bag himself this time. So the first batter retired with 1 pitch, the second batter retired with 2 pitches. Is it safe to say that it'll take maybe 3 pitches to retire Mateo Porcelato?
I mean, I'm not one to make predictions, but that's the way things seem to be going right now. Up to bat now, Mateo Porcelato.
He is taking his time, laughing things up with Ward, the Royals catcher tonight. As Taylor gets set and delivers. That one chopped on the ground, picked up by Brando LaRue, flipped onto first base and down. Go the Jackfish, 3 up and 3 down. That is surprising. I mean, the Jackfish have been such a formidable force against nearly every other opponent. And for the Royals to retire them so quickly, I mean, do you think that's a sign of good things to come?
I think it's a great sign of things to come, and I think what a job by Jordan Taylor to induce that soft contact from a powerful Welland lineup. Absolutely cooking them in the start of this game. And we'll head to break. It's 0-0 Jackfish, Royals.
Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. It's the home half of the first inning. Your Guelph Royals taking on the visiting Welland Jackfish. And kicking things off will be Mr. Left Turns Only, J.D. Williams.
Yeah, Williams, 305 career average in the IBL, 101 RBIs and 45 stolen bases across 134 games. Really solid bat at the top of the order for the Royals. And here's the first pitch, and that'll land in for a strike.
Yeah, a mean fastball from Welland's starting pitcher tonight, Euclides Layer. As he sends a nasty slider that just catches the outside corner. Williams not too pleased with that one. John at the ump.
I mean, I kind of can't blame him. It looked off the plate.
Yeah. As Williams gets plenty of that one, but not enough to send it out of the infield. It's going to be held onto and brought back in by Luther, the second baseman for the Jackfish tonight. So that is going to bring up the two-hole hitter, shortstop, Connor Morrow.
Yeah, Morrow, career 324 hitter in the IBL. So again, a good presence at the top of the lineup for these Royals. Hopefully he can get on base and give the big bats in the middle some RBI opportunities.
Connor Morrow getting quite the reaction from the home side. Him and Brando LaRue were brought back.
First pitch is a slider off the plate.
Yeah, they were brought back as part of the slew of recent signings by the Royals. Returnees from last year's squad. Is that one called a strike? 1-1 the count.
Layer comes set. The 1-1. And that's chopped to the third base side, and it'll go foul.
Yeah, just a bit foul there, but Connor Morrow making some good contact. I mean, he's just come back. This is one of his first few appearances back in the Royals uniform. I believe just his second game of the season.
Yeah, you're correct about that. Only 4 at-bats this season so far.
Yeah, all coming in one game. Did come around to score 2 runs. Drew a walk as well.
As that's off the plate, 3-1 count.
Lair really starting to settle in, I guess. He seemed a bit erratic on those first few pitches, and now he's getting into his element by the looks of it. But Morrow, he is no pushover.
And that's a strike 3 call. Nope, swinging strike 3.
Yeah, big swing by Connor Morrow. No doubt about that one. So now already 2 outs here in the home half of the first inning. That is going to bring up the player that we mentioned right off the top of the broadcast. He was a standout star in that playoff series against these very same Welland Jackfish. It is the one, the only, Andy Leader.
Yeah, Leader in his second season with the Royals. Back in 2023, hit .368 with the Kitchener Panthers. And 8 home runs and 32 RBIs over the course of that season. So, again, good bat, middle of the order.
Very impressive resume. A 3-time All-Star in his own right. Just so many stats, awards, and pedigrees to back up. And, I mean, no, we saw when he first arrived here in Guelph, he had a bit of a slow start, and at the start of this season, he's been a little slow out of the gate. Not quite, living up to those pedigrees that are associated with his name.
Yeah, I think he just needs to get some more at-bats with the Royals. Some players are just slow starters, as that one's off the plate. It takes time to settle in for a lot of these guys, and I think the potential is there. He's shown flashes in the past.
Yeah, he is just entering the peak of his career, the prime years, as they say. That one just a bit low. Full count now on Leader. Leader, yeah, just 26 years of age. Hailing all the way from Kitchener. So, yeah, it's not like he's a youngster still trying to learn the league. It's not like he's a veteran trying one more time. He is tenured, knows his way around the league, and can't quite know his way around that fastball as he grounds out to end the home half of the first inning. So 3 up, 3 down, go both the Jackfish and the Royals here in the first inning. Leader looking a little shaken up as he's heading back to the dugout. Something to keep an eye on as we continue into this one. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Guelph Royals TV.
Top of the second with no score, leading off for Welland.
And we're back for the top of the second. And leading off for Welland, we've got the catcher, Robert Mullen. Mullen, former draft pick, reached as high as AA with the Oakland Athletics organization back in 2019.
This is also his 3rd year in the IBL, just turned 29. So no stranger to baseball, been around it all his life.
First pitch from Lair, and that's in there for strike 1. Oh. And that'll be chopped foul. Count sits at 0-2. Mullen, in his minor league career, batted .251, 14 homers, and a .719 OPS across 4 or 5 different levels of the minor leagues.
Plenty of power in that bat, to be sure.
And here comes the 0-2. And that'll be high, ball 1.
Taylor looks like he's got quite a few fastballs in his arsenal. We've seen the 4-seamer, the 2-seamer so far in this one, and he shakes off a sign from Ward.
And that's a called strike 3 for Taylor as he gets Mullen for out number 1.
Right up Main Street. No doubt about it. That was as clean as it gets.
Yeah, I'm really liking what we're seeing from Taylor tonight. He's got the fastball working. He's throwing it with some confidence. It's great.
Yeah, and that's what you love to see for a junior player. Just 18 years old, the Mississauga native heading into this game. 8 innings pitched, 4.15 ERA. Walked 4, struck out 7, but did give up 4 earned runs. So it's nice to see a bit of a bounce-back start from him tonight.
Up to bat, Jake Sanford as he fouls off the first pitch.
Sanford, 27 years old, one of the holdovers from last year's squad. In his 2nd year in the IBL, currently batting .381 with 11 runs scored. He's got plenty of speed behind him, someone the Royals would want to keep off base.
The 0-1 from Taylor. And that one's grounded up the middle. And it's fielded by the shortstop, and he throws it over to first for the out.
Just a bang-bang play. Connor Morrow flipping it on to Talk at first. You love to see it. The 2 guys out there in the middle of the diamond, Morrow and LaRue, like I mentioned, just came back to the Royals. Just got re-signed not too long ago, so it's nice to see that they're right back where they left off last season.
Up to bat for the Jackfish now, it's Brandon Hupe.
Hupe, yet another holdover from last year's squad, still looking for revenge against the Royals.
And first pitch is in the dirt for ball 1.
Ward couldn't quite get a hold on it. I mean, Matthew Ward, he's about as sure-gloved as they get. Something to keep an eye on as this one progresses.
The 1-0. That's off the plate, 2-0 count. Hupe batting .342 on the season. 13 hits and 8 RBIs so far this year. Good start for the player.
Not to mention a home run and a triple. Plenty of pop in that bat.
And the count goes to 3-0. If you're Welland's manager, you giving him the green light?
It's a hitter's count. You got to be swinging at this. Maybe 3-1. You look for the walk, you settle off, but no. I think it's all gas, no brakes.
And that one's in over the plate for strike 1.
And the IBL announcer's curse rears its ugly head once more. It's a 3-1 count, so now things get interesting.
The 3-1. And that's strike 2. Great job from Taylor to work it back from 3-0 to now a full count.
And here's where it gets difficult. I mean, I don't think you can offer any lights in this situation. You just got to let the hitter read that pitch and make up his own decision.
And that one's fly ball to the right field. And that'll be caught for the 3rd out of the inning. What a job from Taylor to get through it. Score remains 0-0, and we'll go to break. Welcome back to the home half of the second. Up first for the Royals, we've got Garrett Takamatsu, the first baseman. Thoughts, Josh?
I mean, he's a former MVP. He's, again, one of the returning players for these Royals. And just a side note, you look at both these lineups tonight, they are stacked top to bottom with players, holdovers from last season. They know each other so well. So it'll be interesting to see how Talk settles in as a former MVP who's seen this team before.
As first pitch, called for strike one from Lair.
Takamatsu in his 7th year in the IBL, but still just 25 years old.
Second pitch is off the plate. It's a 1-1 count.
He's having himself quite the hot start to the season, batting .364 with 12 hits and 4 RBIs.
As that one's chopped up the middle. And he'll get through for a base hit, the first hit of the night for the Guelph Royals. Nice approach from Takamatsu to just shoot it back up the middle, move the line for the next batter.
Exactly. Just split Wisner and Luther there. They just, neither of them could get to it in time. I thought Wisner was going to get to it. He's got great wheels, and we saw how spectacular he was on defense last year during those semifinals, but no, just unable to get to it. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier. These two teams knowing each other so intimately, so well. It's the little things like that that players like Takamatsu pick up on.
Batter now is catcher Matthew Ward. First pitch is in there for strike one. Ward, undergrad at Niagara University, playing Division I ball. He's a 4-year starter there with 150 games played and an all-academic selection 3 different times.
Whew.
That one's off the plate.
Quite the impressive resume, and he has been more than solid for the Royals so far. .385 batting average, not to mention 4 RBIs. He'd love to make it 5 right now.
Hitters count, 2-1.
Now, Takamatsu, he's not a very speedy guy, but he has taken pretty healthy leads over there at first.
And that one's low for ball 3. Yeah, I think Takamatsu's just trying to get in Layer's head a little bit, to maybe stay out of the double play situation as well.
I don't think I've seen Euclides Layer check in on him once.
And that one's fouled off. The count's full. 3-2. Yeah, Layer just really seems to be completely disregarding him.
And that's got to get in your head as a runner. Almost like a slight, like, nah, I'm not even checking in on you. That's got to get to you at some point.
Yep. As that one's lined to the third baseman, and it's caught. Jake Sanford makes the play for Welland.
Just a thing of beauty by Sanford. Didn't even have to shuffle his feet. Didn't move an inch. Just put glove to ball. And just like that, already an out here in the bottom of the second. That is going to bring up the young gun, DH Ethan Hammond.
Hammond just 22 years old. He's played with the Royals. He played with them in 2019, and then he's been with them since 2022 as well. 307 average, over 155 IBL games. First pitch from Layer is fouled back, and it's an 0-1 count.
Something I've really liked from Layer so far is he wastes little time between his pitches. He is just right back at it, attacking the hitter when they least expect it.
Yeah, lots of confidence from him. That one's popped up. Left fielder's on the run. And he'll make the play in foul territory. It's Fiersteak.
Yeah, showing off the wheels there is Fiersteak. Just got to it in time. That one was drifting further and further foul, closer to the clubhouse here at Hastings.
Up now, it's Brandon Leroux, the second baseman. Leroux hit .319 with 5 home runs in 2025 with Florida Atlantic University. And the first pitch is a breaking ball off the plate for ball 1.
Brando, such a bright young star, and typically plays out at short, but with Morrow in the lineup tonight, he's shifted over to second.
And the fastball misses for ball 2. And I'll say this. shortstop's one of the hardest positions on the diamond, so to have the versatility of being able to move one of your more talented defenders over to second base is great for the Royals when they're on defense. And that one's inside for ball 3. 3-0 count now.
That one just about missed Brando LaRue. I mean, narrowly. We're talking a matter of inches. Missed him.
LaRue taken all the way on 3-0 for strike number 1.
And kudos to Brando LaRue. Not shaken up, not even bothered by that pitch coming in so close to him.
As that's a fly ball hit behind home plate. And Mullen is not able to make the play.
That was a nail biter, to be certain. He came in real close to the grandstand, out of not only the view of our camera, but the view of us as well. We couldn't even see him, and neither could the fans, waiting with bated breath, but that one did drop foul, so the count is full. 3-2, 2 outs, and a runner on first.
Yeah, but what an effort by Mullen there. And that's a swing and a miss for strike 3. What an effort by Euclides Layer to work back from a 3-0 count to get that out. That's the end of the second. Score still 0-0. We'll go to break.
Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. It's the top of the third. Score tied, 0-0. Both of these teams looking to break through here as this game enters the end of its first third. Leading things off will be Grayson Barrett.
Barrett had a great 23 season with the Jackfish as that one's grounded to the second baseman, flips it over to first for Takamatsu for the out.
You didn't even get a chance to talk about him. It was just that quick. Taylor has been on his game, inducing a lot of soft contact so far.
Yeah, it's a really nice thing to see from the right-hander.
Especially a right-handed youngster who has struggled a little bit so far this season. Seeing him work like this is very promising. Taylor gets set, delivers the 0-0. That one, a fastball drops low for the strike. 0-1 now the count on Feuerstake. Feuerstake plays both outfield and pitcher, you know, in his spare time when he finds the time. Last season, played both of those roles effectively. The Royals saw him.
He squares to bunt as the pitch is off the plate.
Yeah, the Royals saw him in both capacities, but so far this season, just a batter to start off. Yeah, he did show bunt on a 1-1 count. I mean, what do you make of that?
I think he's just trying to get in the head of the pitcher. And that's a swinging for strike 2. 2-2 count on Fierce Steak.
Yeah, it looks like a foul tip back into the glove of Ward. So it will be a 2-2. 1 out, no runners aboard.
Taylor with the 2-2. That one's fouled back.
Ooh, pretty hefty swing by Fewer Steak there. He is definitely looking to induce some hard contact, not the soft contact that every Jackfish has fallen victim to so far. Taylor shaking off some signs from Ward. It's obvious that he's got something in mind to finish off Fewer Steak.
Thinking an off-speed pitch here. It seems like he's timed up the fastball a little bit. Now you got to change the eye level.
Well, let's see.
And
well, what do you know?
That's in there for strike 3, an off-speed.
An off-speed pitch in there for strike 3. Taylor picks up his second K of the game. So just like that, already 2 outs here in the top of the third. So that is going to bring up second baseman number 20, Brendan Luther.
Luther, in his first season with the Jackfish, was an NIA All-Conference selection in 2024 with a 1066 OPS. And I got to say, anytime the 1 comes before the decimal point in the OPS, it's a good sign. As that one is in there for strike 1. Taylor is really feeling himself out there right now.
You can say that again. He is locked in. He is in his element. As he gets taking a little more time between pitches when compared to Euclides Lair. As he sends that one in. Had a bit of a drop to it.
I think it's a slider. It ended up low in the zone. I like it, though. Change the eye level on the hitter.
Yeah, for as much as he pounds the zone with those fastballs, he has thrown in that slider every now and then to throw off the hitters. See what he does in this 1-1.
There's a fastball in there for strike 2. It's a 1-2 count on Brendan Luther.
Already ahead in the count is Taylor, and again, we just keep coming back to how promising this start is so far. Let's see if he can keep it up here against Luther.
The 1-2. And that one's fouled off, out of play.
Skied high back towards the parking lot here at Hastings. Hopefully no fan ends up with an unwanted souvenir lodged in their front windshield.
Luther, a 354 career batting average, a 447 on-base percentage across his collegiate and amateur summer ball. Great bat to have at the bottom of the order. As that one goes in low for ball 2.
I believe he spent 3 years with the, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Okotoks Dogs out in the WCBL Summer League. Very impressive record there as well. Close to a 400 batting average. So like you said, an impressive bat to have at the bottom of the roster, but he is going to ground that one out. Nellis on to Tuck at first, and just like that, 3 up, 3 down, 9 up, 9 down go the Jackfish to start off this game. But speaking of the Jackfish, let's take a look at how they line up defensively tonight.
So in left field, we've got Caleb Fiersteak, we got Morello in center, and Hyde in right. On the infield, on the left side, we've got Sanford and Weisner. Second base, we got Luther, and then first base, we've got Mateo Porcelato. As we mentioned before, Euclides later starting pitching, and then his battery mate, Robert Mullen, behind the plate.
And for the Guelph Royals, the batting lineup, J.D. Williams kicking things off, Connor Morrow, Andy Leader, and then Takamatsu hitting in the 4-hole.
Then we got catcher Matthew Ward, followed up by the DH Ethan Hammond, and then to round things out at the bottom of the order, Brando Leroux, Mark Nellis, and Ashton Patterson.
Yeah, 2 stellar rosters, top to bottom, and like I mentioned before, just littered with players who were there for both of these teams' deep playoff runs last season. Of course, Welland, who were the defending champs heading into last season's Domenico Cup playoffs, they got upset by the underdog story. These very same Guelph Royals on their way to a berth in the IBL Domenico Cup finals.
Yeah, and I mean, we can see it right now. The rivalry is still there. These two teams playing each other really tough. Some great pitching performances to start things off. Euclides Lair working quickly and looking great, and Taylor perfect through 3 innings. And leading off for Guelph, we'll have Brando Leroux, the second baseman.
Brando.
My mistake. It's the third baseman, Mark Nellis.
I mean, they are both returning Royals, so that does fit the story of tonight's matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Nellis batting .357 over 5 games this year so far. As the first pitch is in for strike 1.
Yeah, very solid start to the season and very promising for yet another returning player.
Swing and strike number 2, and Euclides Layer is in control early in this at bat.
Layer already in front in this count, 0-2.
That's an off-speed pitch off the outside corner for ball 1.
But Robert Mullen doing a great job of trying to frame up that pitch. So now the
1-2. Off the plate, counts even at 2-2.
Yeah, Layer really settling in very quick with those pitches right back at it here with the 2-2.
As that one's grounded to third base, it's bobbled by Sanford, and he's not in time as Mark Nellis is able to get to the infield hit.
And just amazing there. Already a runner on base for the Royals here. No outs here in the bottom half of the third, and that is going to bring up the man they call the Road Runner, Ashton Patterson. Wearing the big 5-0 on his back.
Yeah, Patterson just 22 years old. Smaller guy, 5'8", 160, but packs a punch at the plate for sure, and is also known for his defense.
Known for his speed as well, hence the nickname, as he's going to pop that one up. Foul, drifting back, and I don't know if you could hear that one, but it bounced off the top of the grandstand here at Hastings. So plenty of pop in the bat tonight for Patterson.
Patterson doing his undergrad right here in Guelph. He's just finished his 4th year with the Griffins.
Local boy looking to maybe, at the very least, get a hit, put a run on the board.
The 0-1 is low for ball 1.
And Patterson starting to settle in. He's young, but he's got the patience of a veteran. Now he faces a 1-1 count from Layer.
As that's grounded to the second baseman. Could be 2. On to first, and it's not in time as it goes. It will be recorded as a fielder's choice.
Patterson putting that speed to good use, beating out the throw, but still a runner on board for the Royals, now with 1 out up there on the scoreboard.
Turns things over to the top of the order with J.D. Williams coming up to bat.
Known as Mr. Left Turns Only, from one speedy hitter to another speedy hitter. Williams and Patterson, probably the only two that could match the other in terms of pure speed.
Yeah, I'd pay to watch that 1v1.
As Layer gets set and delivers the first one to Williams. Down in the zone, another fastball. I mean, we've seen that fastball is starting to kind of lose control for Layer. It's his breaking ball that's been a little more on point tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. As he throws over to first, but it'll be back in time.
Yeah. Patterson showing off that quickness and the first step, just not quite in the direction he wanted. He's
Patterson with a generous lead at first.
Oh, more than generous.
And he's running as that one's fouled back and out of play.
Souvenir for a young fan, but Patterson will be wanting that one back. He had a great jump and totally would have made it. I think he was about 3/4 of the way to second before the pitch was even in the batting zone.
Yeah, well, and J.D. Williams making sure that Patterson gets his sprints in today.
It gets his steps in today.
As that one's grounded to the shortstop, onto the second baseman, over to first, and that'll be a double play.
Williams not quick enough to avoid that double play, and despite the promise, 2 runners left on, or pardon me. So the Royals get 2 men on base, but aren't able to capitalize in either instance. So we will head to the 4th inning of play with the score still knotted at those double zeros you see on the graphic board. I'm Josh Alderman. That's Noam Streifer. Stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV because the 4th inning is coming up just after this. Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. It's your Guelph Royals taking on the visiting Welland Jackfish. Still double zeros up there on the scoreboard. No team able to break through just yet, but we have a breakthrough of a different kind, don't we?
Yeah, some out-of-town score updates for you all. All you Canadian baseball fans will be happy to hear the Blue Jays are up 3-0 against the St. Louis Cardinals. Andres Jimenez hit a home run, surprisingly.
And not to mention keeping things inside the IBL. It's the bottom of the 3rd as the Brantford Red Sox take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. 2 teams kind of vying to get that win. 2 teams that really need a win so far to start this season.
Yeah, absolutely. The Leafs sitting at 5-5 on the season, coming off a couple of losses after a 4-game win streak. The 1-0 from Taylor, and that'll be in there for strike 1.
And speaking of win streaks, these very same Guelph Royals were on a 4-game win streak heading into last Wednesday's contest, last Tuesday. But now they find themselves heading into tonight's contest with a 4-game losing streak, obviously looking to snap it. And hey, if Jordan Taylor keeps pitching like this, we may very well see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Taylor's pitching great. As that one's hit on the line out to center field, and Williams is there to make the catch for out number 1.
And nothing too troubling for JD out there in center. Shuffles a little bit to his right and gloves that one. So from one center fielder to another, that's going to bring up Gio Morello, hitting in the 2-hole spot tonight. Another one of those Jackfish that has returned from last year's team and is having a pretty solid start to the season.
Yeah, Morello batting .444 to start the season with 8 RBIs. Just an incredible bat. As that one's in there for strike 1. Little observation about Morello. You might notice that little cramped batting stance reminds me a lot of Ricky Henderson of the Oakland A's from back in the day.
Ooh, now that you mention it, I do see that. Yeah, exactly. You can see that right there on your screens.
Yeah, it's great for drawing walks as that one's in there for ball 1.
And something about Morello, he's always been a very patient hitter, loves to pick his pitches. And now he's worked himself into a 1-1 count.
The 1-1 from Taylor. And that one's lined, and that'll be a foul ball.
If the breeze goes a different direction, we are looking at a very different scenario.
Yeah, I'm sure Taylor's very happy to be pitching in these conditions tonight. Beautiful night out here, warm weather. We're sitting here in T-shirts.
Oh, yeah, fantastic stuff. And that is just typical Hastings weather, you know, knock on wood. We have heard reports of some rain in and around the area. Passed through here a little earlier in the afternoon, so hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us.
Yeah, like you said, IBL announcer's curse. Maybe say the opposite.
Oh boy, I sure hope this game rains out.
As that one's low for ball number 2.
Yeah, the IBL announcer's curse is very much a real thing. So of course, now that we've said it, we may get some nasty weather. But you know what? Let's revel in the sunshine, just like Jordan Taylor is reveling in this 2-2 count.
And that'll drop in for a base hit for Morello. First hit allowed against Taylor tonight. Breaks up the no-hitter, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Royals, that is a little disheartening. But I mean, so far, heading into this top of the 4th inning, it was, 9 up, 9 down. So giving up 1 hit isn't, it's not indicative of anything too troubling for these Royals.
No, especially because that one was not hit that hard. It sort of just blooped into the outfield. So sometimes, especially in baseball, you get unlucky. As that one's inside for ball number 1.
Yeah, speaking of unlucky, that one did get a little bit away from Ward. Had to scramble to get to it. Was able to recover, and the runner goes nowhere.
Batter now is Mateo Porcelato. That one's chopped foul.
And out there at first, Gio Morello has got a pretty healthy lead. Now, he's not quite known for his speed so far this season. Doesn't have too many stolen bases. Last year had 8 in the regular season. Someone Taylor would want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, well, Porcelato, good on his bat-to-ball skills. Could be attempting to stay out of the double play. That one's in there for strike number 2.
You can hear plenty of cheers and jeers from the Royals Kingdom tonight. Plenty of fans packing the park and showing their love for the home side.
As he throws over to first, and the runner comes in safely. Takamatsu just late getting the tag down.
That was as close as it gets.
Taylor with a quick first step over to first.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a great job of keeping that runner in his head, and yeah.
Keeping an eye on him, yeah. Eyes in the back of his head.
The 1-2. And that will get a swing for strike number 3. Taylor pitching great tonight.
Yeah, really off to a great start here in this one. But now he has got a tough customer coming up to the plate. That is the catcher for the Jackfish tonight, Robert Mullen. Mullen, in his 3rd year in the IBL, already has 6 homers so far this season, 13 ribeyes as well. Very, very hot start.
Taylor looking back. First pitch is chopped just foul. Yeah, Mullen, like I mentioned before, draft pick. So I think that comes with a little bit of extra pressure in a game in a league like the IBL. Somebody who had a high prospect stock back in the day, played very well in high school baseball. So big leader on this team, especially as a catcher.
Mm-hmm. And
that one will be up and in for ball number 1.
And that kind of experience is such a big asset here in the IBL, especially because we are seeing more and more Canadian players, young, veteran, rookies, everything in between, come
the runner goes, and that one's lined to left field, but Patterson is there to make the out. Taylor through 4, no runs, 4 strikeouts on the day, as we head to the middle of the 4th. We'll be right back.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. It's the home half of the fourth inning here. Leading things off for your Guelph Royals will be the shortstop, Connor Morrow.
Morrow, batting second in the order tonight. All MAAC second team and preseason selection in the 2019 with Kensius College. First pitch is a slider in there for strike one.
And as you may or may not have heard, it is so good to have that one Royals fan. I never was able to catch his name, but that one Royals fan who shouts out some obscure baseball player whenever a call is missed.
That one's bunted foul.
Connor Morrow, to mention the fans, he is a fan favorite. Last season had a very solid stat line in the regular season, 289 batting average, 22 hits, 3 of those were doubles, 1 home run as well, and 9 RBIs on the season. Just a solid hand that can play all across the infield.
Also, good eye at the plate, walked 9 times, struck out 10, so almost even there.
About as close as you can get as a batter, as now he faces a 1-2 count after, you guessed it, a good look at the plate.
And there he shows the eye again with the slider off the plate, just spits on it for a 2-2 count.
Count evened up at 2-2, and Lair, he's not really showing the same stuff that he had coming out of the gates, but solid nonetheless.
Yeah, breaking ball is still working for him a little bit, but he's slowed up the pace of his pitching, as that one's fouled back. Staying alive is Morrow.
I mean, in the 2 games that he's played so far this season, Lair has 12 innings over both. Picked up the W's in both as well, only walked 2, and has only given up, well, 4 hits heading into tonight's contest.
And that one's off the plate and will load the count.
Lair really seems a little shaken up out there on the mound. Not the guy that we saw in the first, even second inning of play. See if he settles down here with the 3-2.
And what an eye from Morrow as he spits on it again and draws the walk to lead off the inning for the Guelph Royals.
His second walk of the season, and yeah, such a fantastic eye at the plate. And that will bring up the right fielder, the locker room leader, Andy Leader, 3-time All-Star with the Kitchener Panthers, and we mentioned in his first time up, such an impressive history in this league, so many awards, such a great all-time stat line. I mean, he is what you want when you think of the words IBL veteran.
And that one's hit the other way for a base hit. Morrow will hold up at second, and there's runners on first and second for the Guelph Royals. First time there's been a runner in scoring position tonight for either team.
Yeah, so far the Royals have only been able to put 2 runners over at first. None of them had advanced to second, so now the plot thickens.
As that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Garrett Takamatsu. Again, Takamatsu, 29 home runs over his IBL career with 142 RBIs in 166 games. A great pace for this hitter.
I mean, you look at last season, 4 homers and 32 RBIs. Pretty solid from the youngster.
As that one's chopped to third base, it gets through. Morrow's rounding third. The throw is not in time, and he scores. It's 1-0 Guelph as the runner moves up to third.
And it's almost like we called it. Garrett Takamatsu, such a solid bat, such a fantastic hitter. I mean, we mentioned former MVP. He's a former MVP for a reason. Such a beautiful hit there. I mean, gets the outfield grass, and it's nice to have 2 speedy runners out there on the bags. Leader and Morrow both advancing. I mean, Morrow advancing to home plate, Leader advancing over to third. So it's runners on the corners, still no outs, and your Guelph Royals now leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. So that is going to bring up the catcher, Matthew Ward, who is no slouch himself. 385 batting average heading into tonight's contest. 4 RBIs. Would love to make it 5, maybe even 6 here with this at bat.
Yeah, Ward won an MAAC MVP in 2024, going 7 for 10 with 2 home runs in the season. And championship MVP.
And just a couple trophies in his cabinet.
First pitch is off the plate for ball number 1. The 1, as that one's in for, 1-0, that one's in for strike number 1. Lair looking a little bit jittery out there. Not as confident, not working as quickly.
Yeah, now he's starting to slow down his pace, and as he gets settled in for the 1-1.
As that one's pounded in there for strike number 2.
Yeah, no doubt about that one. A fastball right up Main Street that Ward just couldn't catch up to in time. So now a count in Lair's favor, but that was the same count that Connor Morrow had when he decided to put that eye to good use.
And that's going to be a swing and a miss for strike number 3.
Yeah, Ward just like the pitch or two before, couldn't catch up to it in time, but still 1 out up on the scoreboard. Still plenty of room to play with for these Guelph Royals, and that is going to bring in the young gun, Ethan Hammond.
Hammond, 307, batting 307 over 155 IBL games. Comes up with runners on the corners and just 1 out in the inning. And that one's inside for ball number 1.
Yeah, breaking ball used there by Lair. Just wasn't able to find the zone, and not the same guy that we saw at the start of the game.
As that's a fastball inside for ball number 2. Yeah, he's just lacking the command that we saw earlier.
And I mean, such a phenomenal pitcher. I mean, we mentioned his stat line already in this inning. He's such an impressive pitcher here in the IBL. And is no stranger to the league either. Played in 2018 and 2019.
As that one's hit the other way, and it'll drop, and a run will come in to score. Takamatsu advancing to third. And Hammond will get in there with a stand-up double, an RBI double, and that'll be 2-0 Royals.
Yep, that's the big word there, RBI. Hammond, just one big swing changes the trajectory of this game. A 1-0 lead now becomes a 2-0 lead. Still runners on the bases, still just 1 out up there on the scoreboard. And that is going to bring up the second baseman, Brando LaRue, who will be stepping in to the batter's box with quite the tall task ahead of him.
Yeah, LaRue, good guy to have up in this situation. Batted .319 in Division I baseball with Florida Atlantic University this season. So somebody who can do a really great job as Welland brings the infield in to try and avoid giving up the run. So that one's high for ball number 1.
Any closer and they may as well cut the grass here at Hastings. They are all over that infield turf.
As that one's on the outside corner for strike number 1.
Yeah, Brando, such great vision at the plate. Again, for such a young player. A theme across plenty of these Royals batters.
That's a swing and a miss at the breaking ball for strike number 2.
LaRue very patient at the plate. I mean, you mentioned his impressive stat line in college. Has been able to transfer that over to the IBL and looking to keep the good times rolling.
As that one's off the plate for ball number 1. And you can see also a very versatile hitter. The outfield is playing him basically straight up. You have the center fielder shaded a little bit towards left, but aside from that, he can hit the ball all over the field. As that one's fouled back, staying alive.
Yeah, LaRue is in his element, able to get good contact on that one. And stays alive.
LaRue, also known for his speed, has stolen 29 bases in his IBL career. As that one's a fly ball that will get out of play, foul.
Pretty far back foul, had plenty of pop behind it. So it's obvious that LaRue is looking to cash in one, if not both, of those runners in this at-bat, pardon me.
Clades looks in. And that one's off the hands, and that'll drop for a base hit. As one run comes in to score, they'll hold the runner at third as Guelph takes a 3-0 lead.
Takamatsu, as soon as that one left the bat of LaRue, was just right on it, heading into home. So Hammond, the runner on third. LaRue, the runner at first, and that will bring up Mark Nellis. Again, still just one out here in the bottom of the fourth inning, and Robert Mullen taking the time to talk to Lair. As, yeah, he looks pretty shaken up on the mound. Fastballs aren't having the same oomph, the same impact behind them, not quite the same heat. Those sliders and curveballs that he's utilized throughout this game so far just haven't had the same break. See if he's able to turn things around here.
And that's chopped, and the first baseman will field that one, and he'll get the out at first, but a run does come in to score on the play, and that'll make it 4-0 Royals.
Porcelato doing a great job taking it himself to the bag, and I mean just in time to get that out. But that is going to bring up the road runner, Ashton Patterson, your left fielder tonight. 2 outs and a runner at second. The runner is LaRue, and he has got plenty of runway in front of him at second as he takes a healthy lead, and Patterson takes a healthy swing at that one. 0-1 the count.
Patterson 0 for 1 on the day. As that one's high for ball number 1.
Yeah, Patterson, like we mentioned before, young guy, vision of a veteran. So impressive.
Layer at 66 pitches on the day. As that one's inside for ball number 2.
Yeah, Brando LaRue still with quite the lead out there at second, not worrying about Layer trying to pick him off.
As that one's grounded to Porcelato at first base, and he'll take it himself for the easy out. But the Royals score 4 in a big inning, highlighted by a double from
Garrett
Takamatsu. Thank you. As we'll head to the middle of the inning. We're back here at David E. Hastings Stadium for the top of the 5th. The highlight of the game for the Royals, I would say, has been Jordan Taylor's pitching performance. 4 innings, no runs, 3 strikeouts. What are your thoughts, Josh? What do you think he's doing so great today?
I mean, you just said it all right there. That's an impressive stat line from this youngster. And after struggling a little bit in the start to the season, I mean, the 18-year-old, 4.15 ERA across 3 games, only pitched 8 innings so far this season, 4 walks and 4 earned runs. But he is more than making up for the early season struggles here.
And that one's chopped up the middle, and it's booted by the shortstop, Wisner. Nope.
Connor Morrow.
Connor Morrow, thank you. And that'll be a base runner for the Jackfish.
Though I will admit, Jonah Wisner in a Royals uniform is something that plenty of these Guelph fans would pay to see. An impressive player just like Morrow, but everyone's prone to mistakes. As we saw out there on the field with Connor Morrow, just couldn't get the glove down in time. So it is a runner aboard, no outs here in the top of the 5th.
First pitch in there for strike number 1. Up to bat now is Brendan Luther. That one's in there for ball 1. Luther played for the Edmonton Prospects of the WCBL in 2019 and 2021.
Yeah, we mentioned such an impressive record across the WCBL in many
That
seasons.
one's chopped to third base. That's a foul ball.
Just foul there. That one coming as close as you can get.
1-2 count.
And apologies, correction at the plate. That is Brandon Hupe up to bat. And regardless of who's at bat, they're an impressive hitter. Luther and Hupe, both very, very solid to start the season and in their past career.
And that one's bounced in for ball number 2. Good job by the catcher to keep that one with him.
Yeah, Hupe heading into tonight's contest. 8 RBIs, a homer as well. He would love to make it 9 ribeyes on the season here and break open the goose egg currently sitting on Welland's side of the scoreboard.
The 2-2 is hit on the ground. Great sliding stop by Morrow, but no outs are able to be made. That'll probably be recorded as an infield hit.
Such a dazzling defensive display by Morrow. After making that arrow, comes back big with that one. A sliding glove. Gets down in time, but the throw not in time.
And just unlucky there. The ball was probably hit just a little bit too soft for him to be able to make that throw. As that'll bring up Grayson Barrett.
And he takes a big, and I mean big, hack there. 0-1 the count now. Taylor still methodical, still taking the time in between his pitches as he checks in on the runner at second.
Barrett batting .229 on the season in 34 at-bats, scored 6 runs and has 8 hits.
Taylor really taking his time, slowing things down, bringing it to his pace.
And the 1-1 is off the plate for ball number 2.
And I really like that by Taylor. He's not rushing. He's thinking through, and, I mean, we've seen him shake off many a sign from Ward tonight. He knows what he wants to pitch, and he's going at it on his terms.
So that one's off the plate for ball 3. 3-1 count to Barrett.
And it does look like we are seeing some action out in the Royals bullpen. Can't quite tell who it is, but we are certain that there are some players up, roaming and tossing out there in left.
As that one's over the outside corner for strike number 2.
Now a full count against Grayson Barrett.
If my eyes don't deceive me, I believe it's Nelson Mercado warming up in the bullpen for the Royals. As that one's off the plate for ball number 4, and that'll load the bases for the Jackfish.
And this is not an ideal situation if you're the Royals. I mean, you got Caleb Fewerstake coming up to bat, and he has been very impressive. I mean, in the one game he's played, or pardon me, the 3 games he's played before tonight, has come around to score 3 times, a .250 batting average, and has walked as well. He has such great vision at the plate, and it does help that he is also a pitcher for these Jackfish when the time calls for it.
Yeah, good player to have up right now. Definitely somebody who, in this situation with runners on base, could keep the line moving for the Jackfish.
And just looking at the chat here, yes, thank you, Voodoo Daddy. Such a interesting name there. We appreciate the compliments to me and Noam here on the broadcast. And yeah, Josh Garten night here for the Royals. That would be something. A sight to see for sure.
First pitch is swung on and missed for strike number 1. I think that was a breaking ball at the lower part of the zone.
Taylor still taking his time, still picking his pitches very, very well.
And that'll be just off the outside corner for ball number 1.
Something I have noticed is he does favor the fastball when there's runners on base. Now, we haven't quite seen that too often tonight, but when the Jackfish have had runners on base, Taylor just pounds the zone with fastball after fastball.
As that one will get to the backstop, and a run will come in to score. Runners advance to second and third, and it's 4-1. Yeah, Taylor just lost that one, I think.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a breaking ball that got away from him. It was another fastball. Just couldn't quite place it where he wanted to, and Ward, normally a solid glove behind the plate, just couldn't get to it in time. I wouldn't quite call that an error on either side. I think it just kind of got away from each of them, and a little reminder to settle in and take this one pitch at a time.
As the 1-1 is fouled back to the parking lot.
Count evened up at 2-2. Feuerstake taking a second to himself to catch his breath. Gets back into the batter's box and ready to face off with Taylor.
As that one's off the plate for ball number 3.
Taylor still throwing with heat, still going back to those fastballs, but they just aren't placing where he would want them to be.
And the count is full, so the payoff pitch home. Taylor taking a while. And that'll be inside for ball number 4 as Feuerstake is able to work the walk.
Yeah, Feuerstake, like we mentioned, great vision, great view of the game, like so many of the players out here tonight. But yeah, the fans, Taylor, the Royals, not happy with that call at all. And just like that, that is going to be the end of Jordan Taylor's night. And I mean, there you can see getting a big hug from manager Dino Ramel. Maybe it's not the end of the game so far. I mean, he's having quite the animated conversation with Dino.
Taylor, nothing to scoff at tonight either. He's pitched super well. And as we'll see, Nelson Mercado coming in from the bullpen to pitch.
Yeah, Taylor, despite his best protests, isn't going to be staying in this one. That will bring in the big man, Nelson Mercado, to pitch. But yeah, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of from the youngster Taylor. Just a very, very impressive outing. And after a few rough starts in his last few appearances, I mean, we mentioned 3 games, 8 innings pitched, and a 4.15 ERA. I think that one's definitely going down after tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing to complain about with Taylor. Pitched very well, looked super duper sharp the first couple of innings, and then, fatigue got the better of him, and there's no shame in that. That's just how it goes.
So we will give Nelson Mercado a little bit of time to warm up and settle in out there on the mound. So we will be back. Stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV because this one is just getting started. Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. You're watching Guelph Royals TV. Josh Alderman and Noam Streifer on the call.
And we'll have Nelson Mercado coming into pitch for the Royals. Mercado made 18 appearances as a senior at UAM, had 51 strikeouts in 37.2 innings pitched.
So he gets set and delivers the 0-0. That one down and outside of the zone, and the fans here at Hastings not happy with the ump behind the plate.
And the batter for the Jackfish is Brendan Luther.
Mercado taking his time, just like Taylor before him, as that one's chopped in the ground, will reach outfield grass. One run comes around to score. Jackfish are looking for two. Throw in from leader. Not in time. So count it 1, count it 2. The Jackfish bring 2 runners around to score there, and shout out to Luther. A big, big single when the Jackfish needed him most.
Yeah, and that'll put the Jackfish within 1 of the Royals, with runners still in scoring position and still no outs in the inning, moving things back to the top of the order for Jonah Weisner.
So don't let that 2 RBI single fool you. Nelson Mercado is pretty tough out there on the hill. 3.85 ERA across 3 games. He's pitched 7 innings and struck out 11.
Looks back to second, and Weisner shows bunt, but that'll be going foul.
Looks like he showed bunt like really at the last second, and that's not me using an announcing term. No, it was quite literally at the last second. Just kind of stuck his bat out there, tapped it foul. Mercado, big man taking his time, checks in on his runners, and delivers.
And that'll be strike number 1. Or strike number 2.
Yeah, that one down towards the dirt, but Weisner did take a hack at it. So the count now 0-2.
2022, Weisner was an NAIA All-American, batting .426 with a 1.328 OPS. Absolutely elite stuff from the hitter.
And to quote a wise man, when there's a 1 before the decimal point, that is just something you love to see.
Yeah, I may or may not have stolen that from another announcer. And the pitch, and that'll be fouled back.
Yeah, that one had plenty of heat behind it. But Weisner able to put bat to ball. That one's sailing over the clubhouse here at Hastings.
Weisner just taking a chop at it, staying alive.
Yeah, doing what he can. 0-2 count, no outs, and 2 runners aboard.
Mercado checks the runner at second. And that one's high and outside for ball number 1.
To be fair, that is the kind of pitch you would want in this kind of count.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a hitter's count. He's not really in danger of anything. So Mercado just looking to get Weisner to take a swing, take a chance on it. But he is not biting on that bait.
And that'll be a called strike number 3. Mercado showing the electric fastball as Weisner just is left speechless.
Yeah, just couldn't get up to it. And he looks pretty dejected heading back to the dugout. And Mercado, it's almost like he heard us. You know, outside pitch isn't quite working the way he wants it to. All right, send it straight up Main Street with a screamer of a fastball.
And up now will be Morello.
Gio Morello. He's got a stat line that is absolutely nothing to scoff at.
And the pickoff play at second, throw not in time. I think that was just to try and keep the runner there.
Yeah, keep him on his toes. Yeah, Morello, like I mentioned, absolutely nothing to scoff at. 444 batting average coming into tonight's contest. 16 hits across 9 games played. Again, heading into tonight's contest, he has been nothing if not rock solid to start the season for these Jackfish.
So that one will be high for ball number 1.
And the fans rallying behind Nelson Mercado and Just one of the many quirks about being here at home at Hastings is the fans stand by these guys no matter what.
Morello, speedy, known for his speed. 202 IBL games, has 91 stolen bases. Also bats 298 and 231 hits in his career.
Okay, I must have missed that while I was doing my research prior to this game. That is absolutely insane. He is a speedster's speedster, not someone you want to see on the base path.
Yeah, and great contact skills as well. As that one's off the plate for ball number 2.
Let me rephrase that. Not someone you want to see on the base path if you're the opposition. If you're the Jackfish, you would love to see this guy out there every single at-bat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mercado settling in, checking in on his runners. Checks again. Wants to be sure. And that one, a fastball down in the dirt. 3-0 now the count. The big man not really settling in like he was during that first at-bat. Or his first batter faced. Now you can see Mercado shaking off some of the calls from Matthew Ward. Obviously, he's got something in mind to try and stay alive in this one.
And the 3-0 is spat on, and that'll be a walk for Morello.
And credit to Ward. He tried to frame that pitch up, tried his best, but the
The first baseman, number 10,
not really calling things. But to be fair, in this kind of game where the umpire isn't calling the things that the fans want to see called, it's been fair. It's been both sides. Stuff that looks inside, stuff that looks low, stuff that looks high, whatever you can name. The ump has called it fairly for both of these sides. So as much as the fans at Hastings really want the calls to go their way, that is just the nature of tonight's game.
Yeah, just a tight strike zone from the home plate umpire tonight. And Mateo Porcelato, the batter, as he'll swing and miss for strike number 1.
Porcelato batting in the 3 hole tonight and serving as the Jackfish's first baseman.
Across 11 at-bats this season, he's batting .273 with a home run and 2 RBIs. And that one's hit on the ground, and that'll get through. 1 run comes in to score. Runner's getting the wave around third, and that'll be a 2-run single for Mateo Porcelato as the Jackfish lead 5-4.
And Fewer Stake doing the job of third base coach, signaling, to the runner coming around towards third to stay right there, stay where he is. So, I mean, we mentioned his vision at the plate. Such vision to be able to spot when that ball is coming in and tell his battery mate to hold up. His teammate, sorry, to hold up.
That'll bring up the catcher, Robert Mullen.
The Jackfish rallying from behind. Coming back now, a 5-4 lead with just 1 out.
As the runner goes, throw down to second is not in time, not even close.
Porcelato, I mean, we mentioned plenty of other speed threats in this Jackfish lineup. He is a speed threat of his own. Picks up his 3rd stolen base of the season, and if he keeps up that pace, he will outmatch last season's total of 27 stolen bases across all appearances.
Yeah, and Porcelato, just an incredible athlete. As that one's foul tipped into the catcher's glove for strike number 1.
Mercado seems to have the faith of the Royals coaching staff. No one up in the bullpen, despite the runs given up by the big man.
And that one's inside for ball number 2.
Just narrowly avoided Mullen's elbow guard. So
and as you can see again, the Royals infield coming in to try and avoid the run.
J.D. Williams playing a bit to his right.
As that one's in the dirt, and it gets away from the catcher, but he's able to keep it in front of him.
Yeah, that's one of the many, many positives about having Matthew Ward as your catcher. Just such a solid hand. Yeah, he let a ball or two past him earlier in this contest, but he is able to recover, diving in the dirt to recover anything that gets past him. So impressive.
Yeah, one of the best defensive catchers I've had the pleasure of watching in this league. As that one's high and inside for ball number 4, and that will load the bases yet again.
not something you want to see if you're the Royals. And I mean, if there ever was a time to start warming up someone in your bullpen, I think now is that time. Nelson Mercado, the big man, great start to the season, but he's just not been able to translate those good stats into a good performance here so far. But hey, the inning is young. Plenty of time to turn things around here.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think he doesn't have the command that he needs tonight. We're seeing lots of pitches just off the plate, not great command of his off speed, and letting Welland just sit on the fastball. And that one's in there for strike number 1. Way to prove me wrong on that pitch.
Jake Sanford, a tall task at the dish. 381 heading into tonight's contest. 16 hits across 9 games. A stat line you can find across very, very many of these Jackfish batters.
As that one will get to the backstop, and a run comes in to score for the Jackfish. Runners advance to second and third. Just not what you want to see in a situation like this.
I think the best way to sum it up is a series of unfortunate events. Not interconnected per se, but just an inning of unfortunate instances.
Yeah, and just frustration, I'm sure, is getting to Mercado at this point. You can see that he's trying to put a little bit of extra onto his fastball, onto his pitches, and it's just not great.
Yeah, just a lot of things that haven't gone the Royals' way. Balls that, just get past the infield. Pitches that aren't quite finding the zone. But, to their credit, the Jackfish, they are no pushovers.
As that one's flied into foul territory, and it will get out of play, hitting off the top of the Royals' dugout.
Nellis, to his credit, giving it his all, sprinting after that one, almost dove into the dugout. But yeah, as you mentioned, dinged off the top of the dugout. Yeah, these Jackfish, so impressive. And they have really turned it up a notch ever since the Royals jumped out to a commanding 4-0 lead.
Short-lived 4-0 lead. We're still in the very next inning.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Sanford, also a former draft pick, spent time with the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays minor league system, reaching as high as high A with the Hudson Valley Renegades. The 2-2.
Not a full count, a 2-2 count.
And that one's low. Now it's a full count.
Now it's a full count. I'm just thinking ahead.
Yes, you can see the future, guys.
Joshua Forsythe Alderman is what they call me. Full count now on Sanford as Mercado gets set. This time not checking in on his runners, staring down Sanford as he sends that one. A fastball sailing, spiraling just a bit left. Tried for the corner and missed. So now, bases loaded once again. I mean, if you're the Royals, what is the strategy now that you have the bases loaded again?
I mean, it's a very tough situation. As you can see, the pitching coach coming out to have his conversation with this pitcher. And I'm seeing some movement in the Royals bullpen. A couple of guys jogging around, getting loose. Nobody throwing yet, though. But what I really think you need to do is you just need Mercado to settle down. He's clearly getting in his own head, and he's just trying to do too much. This is a guy with good stuff. He just needs to get it over the plate. And at this point, just stop the bleeding.
Yeah, he is definitely a very great pitcher. We saw last season his stat line across 8 innings pitched total, a 4.15 ERA, had 1 win to his name, 14 Ks, and gave up just 2 walks. So there's a precedent. There is plenty of stuff to back up Mercado being put into situations like this.
Yeah, well, and Mercado's not giving up a ton of hard contact this inning. It's been a lot of just mistakes, avoidable mistakes, that have ended up being the cause of the run scored this inning. As that one's not in there for ball number 1.
But you know what? Good on the Jackfish. The visitors able to read the defensive setup and smack singles out to right, split in second and first. That is just good vision at the plate.
And that one is lined foul. And as you can see, the Royals moving their defense back, just focused on getting the out here, not worrying about the runner on third as much. Corners are still in, but I would assume if the ball gets to second, they're going to go for the double play.
On that foul, Brandon Hupe. I mean, you know MLB The Show, when it's perfect contact and it makes that satisfying noise, that's the noise, just pure bat to ball, pure power, and looking to deliver again in the 1-1.
And that one's low for ball number 2. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The sound off that bat was just incredible. It almost sounds like a big leaguer.
Almost deafening. Yeah, stuff that Mercado will want to avoid as he's worked himself into a 2-1 count against the batter.
Well, and Hupe, wait, this is not, yeah, this is Hupe. Hupe, just a strong guy, you know, known for his arm in the outfield, known for his power at the plate, and something that the Royals are going to have to work around in this situation.
Hey, I don't blame you. We've seen plenty of Jackfish up at the dish tonight.
Yeah, I'm losing track a little bit.
In this inning alone.
Yeah, it's been a very long inning.
Very, very impressive stuff.
And that one's lined into left field. It's over the head, and he falls over. 2 runs are going to come in to score. And the runner pulls up to third, throws not in time, as the Welland take a commanding 8-4 lead. Every single one of those runs has been scored this inning.
I mean, you can try and put fancy analysis. You can try and put a little spin on it. This is just good textbook baseball by the Welland Jackfish. Regardless of who you're cheering for, you got to applaud them for what they've been able to do here tonight. Just solid, solid stuff.
And I believe we're seeing movement in the Royals bullpen. I think it's Brandon Dean's getting loose right now. Number 91.
And more than a few players out there kind of walking around, jogging, tossing the ball.
And that one's right down the middle for strike number 1.
And Grayson Barrett now the batter. So he gets settled in. Mercado, yeah, not checking in on his runners anymore. Seeming to me that ignorance is bliss to him. Just stay locked in on what's in front of you, and I admire that. That's a good strategy as a pitcher. Just focus on what's in front of you, the task at hand, one pitch at a time, and ignore the noise on the base paths.
As that one's low for ball number 2. Barrett, very successful college career at Texas Wesleyan, was named an NAIA standout player after batting .356 with 43 home runs and 180 RBIs across his 3 seasons there.
Yeah, I'd say that's all right.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. And that one's fouled straight back. If not for the net, it probably would be in the broadcast booth right now.
Yeah, plenty of power behind that swing. Barrett, he is wanting to cash in even more runs. The Jackfish are not taking their feet off the gas. Their flippers? Their fins off the gas. That's what I was looking for. I got around to it eventually. That's Mercado looking to bring things around to the next batter with the 2-2.
And he gets the swing and miss. Much needed out for the Guelph Royals as Mercado finally is able to command that fastball.
And that's the Nelson Mercado that these Royals fans know and love. A flamethrower. As that is going to bring up Caleb Feuerstake. We've already seen him in this inning now. He is back for more. Came around to score earlier. He'd love to bring some of his teammates around to score here.
As that one's in there for strike number 1, a swinging strike. There we go. Now we're seeing the command and the speed that we've come to expect from Mercado.
And you know what? I'm going to chalk it up to him stopping, looking at the runners around him. Focusing on what's in front of him has proved fruitful so far.
And that's there for strike number 2, an 0-2 count ahead of the hitter early. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think people sometimes disregard the mental aspect of coming in to put out a fire as a relief pitcher. And Mercado, just at the beginning of this inning, was not confident in his own ability there. as that one's there for ball number 1. And now, as he's focusing in on the batter, the command, the confidence, he's pitching more quickly now, is just, that's all there.
Mercado gets set, takes his time. This is a pitch he really wants to focus in on. 1 and 2 becomes 2 and 2 as that one sails high. A fastball. He just couldn't place it in the zone.
You know, he missed the zone there, but I still like the call from the catcher. I think right now he just needs to focus on the basics and getting that fastball in there. And few hitters in this league can hit that electric fastball of his. As that's called for strike number 3, the Royals finally get out of the inning. The Welland Jackfish score 8 runs in the inning on 4 hits and a lot of defensive mistakes.
I wouldn't say mistakes, more miscalculations. I mean, the Royals continued to space out their defenders and bring them a little closer to the infield when practically all the hits that Welland had in this inning went into the outfield or skirted quickly through the infield dirt. Still plenty of ball game left to be played, as we can see Euclides Lair coming back out to the mound.
And we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Welland 8, Guelph 4.
Welcome back, fans, to Guelph Royals TV. Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. Joshua Alderman and Noam Streifer on the call. Your Guelph Royals currently down by 4, 8-4 the score in favor of the visiting Welland Jackfish, but maybe it's time for the tides to turn as the top of the order comes up here in the bottom of the 5th inning. J.D. Williams leading things off against a very electric Euclides Lair. Gave up 4 in that last inning, but, I mean, he is right back at it. A fastball and a slider back-to-back. And very quickly, an 0-2 count on J.D. He's going to pop that one up into shallow right field. A couple of Jackfish heading after it, but in the end, it is Brandon Luther who gets to it in time. And sharing a little handshake with Hugh Pay. As Lair settling in from some of the hitting troubles that he had back in, the pitching troubles he had back in the bottom of the 4th inning. Definitely no hitting troubles for the Royals back in the bottom of the 4th, as that one slider in 0-1. So with Williams retired, that is going to bring up tonight's shortstop for your Royals, Connor Morrow. Morrow, one of the returning players from last year's team, fouls that one back 0-2. And I mentioned it before, up and down both of these lineups tonight, Royals and Jackfish. So many returning players. These teams know each other so well, have played each other before, obviously last year in the Dominico Cup semifinals. These two teams met, and the Royals, the underdogs, upset them in the end. So the Jackfish are on a path of revenge looking to get their wins back. Starting off with this one here at Hastings, and very quickly a 2-2 count on Connor Morrow. Still just one out here in the inning. No men aboard. As Layer gets set, delivers a mean, and I mean mean, fastball right there in the middle of the zone. Morrow bites the bait and goes down empty-handed. So very, very quickly, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And that will bring up Andy Leader.
I'll bring Leader up to bat. Leader has over 275 hits across 8 IBL seasons.
And tonight's game has come around to score already one of the 4 runs. Back in the bottom of the 4th inning, and I wasn't even done in that sense. I started it and finished it, and now it's already an 0-2 count on Leader. Layer, this is the guy we saw at the start of the game, as Leader's going to send that one spiraling in to shallow center field. Beautiful diving grab by Brendan Luther. That is textbook defense right there.
Yeah, great sliding catch to end the inning. Luther looking as good as he was, maybe, that 8-run inning. Another byproduct is that he got some time to sit there and rest.
Plenty of time to rest up, and it paid off. So just like that, your Guelph Royals are sent packing in order. So we'll head to the top of the 6th inning. Welland Jackfish leading 8-4. Stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV. Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. It's the Guelph Royals taking on the visiting Welland Jackfish, and the visitors are up big 8-4 here in the top of the 6th inning. And we've got a new pitcher on the mound, so Noam, why don't you break it down for us?
So on to pitch for the Royals is Brandon Deans as he gets a first pitch strike. Deans, in his last outing against the Toronto Maple Leafs at Christie Pitts, he could not get out of the first inning. Gave up a grand slam, and during the grand slam said something to the runner on the way home, and he got himself an ejection and a 1-game suspension.
His first appearance since then, looking to rebound from a less than stellar outing and maybe improve his stat line for the season.
Yeah, his stat line for the season is not great, a 24.75 ERA across 3 games, as that one's low. Only 4 innings pitched and allowed 8 walks and 8 hits. Just not what you want to see, especially after his incredible performance in the 2024 playoffs. Some of those games against the Welland Jackfish, where he pitched to a 2.45 ERA across 3 games. Counts 3-1.
Yeah, Dean's still taking some time to settle in on the mound, as That one, a fastball inside, just about ankle level. And just like that, there is a runner on base.
Shortstop, number 4,
Luther,
Jonah
the man on
Wisner.
first. And shortstop Jonah Wisner up to bat. This top of the order.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want from your number 9 hitter. Working the count, getting on base, and bringing up the big boys to hopefully, hopefully for the Royals, but hopefully for the Jackfish, get some more offense going this inning.
Yeah, don't let up.
And first pitch nicks the outside corner for strike number 1.
If we've seen anything from the Jackfish this season, it's that they are all gas, no brakes. They are just, pedal to the metal. When the going gets tough, they really get going, put those runs up big, and their pitching comes in to shut down opposition offenses.
Yeah, pitcher Brandon Deans played Division I baseball at Oakland University. With 75 strikeouts and 70 innings pitched over the course of his 3-year career there, as that one falls in for strike number 2. So I do think that he just needs to get settled in this season. He has the track record of being an excellent pitcher, somebody that you can go to when you need a spot start, somebody that you can go to when you need a quick inning. As that one is swung on and missed for the strikeout, showing off the skill from Brandon Deans, and that's out number 1.
Yeah, very impressive stuff. And like you said, he just needs to be given time to settle in. Stats are just stats. They're just numbers out there. And yeah, they do oftentimes reflect quality of play, but Deans, not so much.
Yeah, well, and I would say especially this early in the season, you just don't have the sample size to use those stats to dictate how good of a player somebody is. Deans has the track record. As the runner goes, and that's hit to the opposite field, Patterson is there to make the catch. And it's a 2 outs for the Guelph Royals.
Luther really had to throw on the brakes there. Just about barreled over Takamatsu over at first, but
baseman, number 10,
it was one of those, I wouldn't even call it a miscalculation by Luther. He knew he was going to try and run for it. He knew he was going to try and steal second. So regardless of the outcome there, he was going. And, yeah, he had to scamper back and got there just in time and just got out of the way of Garrett Takamatsu. So crisis averted.
Yeah, good play by the runner to get back there on time. And that'll bring up Mateo Porcelato. First pitch off the outside corner for ball number 1.
Now, I will say we haven't seen anything fancy from Deans just yet. Just a lot of fastballs. Nothing fancy, just straight up simple baseball.
Yeah, well, and I think that's a good choice. As that one's hit to the other way, fly ball. And it's dropped.
Ashton Patterson not able to get to it, loses it in the lights, and that will bring in Luther to score, make it 9-4 for the visitors. So a 2-out RBI double.
Think that'll get scored as a double or an error on Patterson?
Honestly, it may even be an error and not the first one of the night by Patterson. He has had a very tough time tonight reading pitches as they enter, the fly zone up above the outfield. He's lost it in the lights many times here tonight, and for a guy that's been so solid defensively, that's got the wheels to come back and recover from simple mistakes like that, that's not very promising, but it's just one game. We'll see if he can turn things around. Still plenty of innings left to be played here.
Yeah, well, and I think as that one's in for strike number 1, a swing and a miss by Mullen. And I think to your point there, it's tough. People underestimate how difficult it is to play the outfield under the lights in the twilight like this. Sometimes you lose the ball in the twilight just as likely as you are to lose it in the sun.
No matter the situation, I mean, it's a tough job to be an outfielder.
And that one's inside, just misses Mullen for ball number 1.
Yeah, Dean's now getting a mound visit as Ward looks to settle down his pitcher. 1-1 count, 2 outs, and Porcelato.
Yeah, And I'll say this.
Runner at second.
I'll say this. I think it's never a bad time for a mound visit. You know, he gave up. He actually got the soft contact that he needed on that play, and just an unfortunate situation with the defense there. So Mullen coming out, giving him some reassurance, helping him settle down. Just face this batter. You got 2 outs.
And like I mentioned earlier, one of the best parts about being here at Hastings is getting to hear the fans rally behind the home side, regardless of the score, regardless of how the boys are doing. These fans, the Royals Kingdom, always up to cheer for their guys.
So that one's a lined foul. That was destroyed.
I could have sworn I heard a solid smack as that one bounced off the concrete walls, yeah, over at the clubhouse.
Yeah, let's just be glad that that one was off the wall and not off of somebody's car.
You can say that again.
As that one's grounded up the middle, and that'll get through for a base hit. A run will come in to score, and it's 10-4 for Welland as Robert Mullen adds on.
Yeah, just a thing of beauty right there. A 2-out single, cashes in a run. What more could you ask for if you're the Jackfish?
Yeah, just a great piece of hitting. Well placed, finds the hole in the defense. Just a very professional at bat from Robert Mullen.
Now, one thing I have noticed is that almost all of the runs that have come around to score for the Jackfish have been singles, have been even doubles at times, stuff sent up the infield dirt, not stuff in the outfield.
As that one's grounded to the shortstop, and he'll take it to the bag himself to end the inning for the Royals. And I think to your point before we go to break, Josh, that's what's so lethal about the Jackfish lineup, is that even when they're not hitting for power, even when they're not hitting home runs, they're still have the great bat-to-ball skills and just keep the line moving. There are great hitters up and down this lineup who all know what their role is on the roster.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So we will step away for a second as we get set to head to the bottom of the inning. Stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV.
Hardline drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Rev 1X by Rollins.
Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. It's the bottom of the 6th inning here on Guelph Royals TV. Joshua Alderman and Noam Streifer here on the call. And it is it's a pretty big lead for the Welland Jackfish. 10-4 now the score.
Yeah, nothing to scoff at. Jackfish have been putting on an offensive clinic here. And up for the Royals now we have Garrett Takamatsu. And he'll take a strike on the outer half of the plate. A nice slider by Lair.
And not to mention, he was the one that got the party started back in the bottom of the 4th for the Royals. 2-run double as he's going to chop that one into shallow. right field, but he was denied by the beautiful jumping grab by Brendan Luther.
Yeah, just textbook there by Luther. Turns the back shoulder, stays with the ball, and that's the kind of play that a coach is going to show their little league players. Just very impressive fundamental baseball right there. Yeah, that'll bring up Matthew Ward. Ward 0 for 2 on the day, but with 1 strikeout. And that'll miss for ball number 1.
Yeah, that pitch right there had quite a bit of curve on it. Went left, went right, and ultimately found its space down in the dirt.
And then he comes back with the fastball, but it's off the plate for ball number 2.
Now, I will say, I am not seeing any action out in the Jackfish bullpen. It seems like Brian Esri and co are really putting their faith in Lair to get a couple more innings going. I mean, his pitch count isn't too high just yet. He's really kind of run through the order a couple times. He's getting a feel for how the Royals swing.
Yeah, Lair only had 87 pitches on the day. So, you know, he works another couple of quick innings like he has the last one. He could go up until the 7th or 8th inning, which would be huge for the Jackfish to get that kind of performance from their starter, and it would really take some pressure off of the bullpen.
Yeah, Lair did give up those 4 runs. You can't get around that, but otherwise, he has been very, very good.
And that one's popped up into foul territory, and he'll get out of play. Full count on Matthew Ward. And yes, Lair did give up those 4 runs, but again, something that's, with a score like this, what you really just need is length. This is a great opportunity for the Jackfish to rest their bullpen. And as we've seen, and that's going to be a swinging strike that'll end the at-bat for Ward. And it's something that we've seen across the IBL is that pitching depth is king. And even though he gave up 4 runs, I think this is an incredible performance for Lair and for the Jackfish as a whole in this situation.
Yeah, and if you're the Jackfish, you are just looking at Lair to keep going, to just keep doing what he's doing so fast. I mean, he has found his rhythm again. We saw back in the 3rd and 4th innings that he was getting slower, more methodical, trying to space out his pitches. But at the start of the game, and now in the 5th and bottom of the 6th innings, he has been right back at it, just terrorizing hitters with pitch after pitch after pitch, giving them no room to breathe.
The 1-0, and that's right down the middle for strike number 1. Yeah, and I totally agree with you. The confidence is just flowing from Lair right now. He looks the same as he did in the first innings. He's unrecognizable from the inning where he gave up 4 runs. And that just misses for ball number 2.
And you could hear a couple sighs of relief here in the grandstands of Hastings. Some fans think that could have gone either way.
Hammond drives this to left field, and that'll be caught. And he falls over and does a nice little roll. Doing it with some style is the left fielder, Fierstake.
Yeah, Fierstake fallen with style, stumbling, tumbling his way, but he made the catch, and that is all that matters. Doesn't matter how he did it. Doesn't matter the technical elements of it. He made that catch, plain and simple.
Yeah, and that will end the inning. We'll head to the top of the 7th. It's Welland 10, Guelph 4.
Number 21, Brandon Houpe.
And we're back for the top of the 7th. Brandon Houpe is coming to the plate for the Welland Jackfish. But quick little out-of-town score update for you. The Blue Jays are up on the Cardinals 8-3. Most partially because of my glorious king, Alejandro Kirk, and his home run.
And big stuff. Haven't seen any home runs in this contest so far, but these two teams maybe want to keep it that way. The Jackfish with a comfortable lead, and the Royals just looking to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, first pitch in off the plate for ball number 1. Brandon Dean's in his 2nd inning of work.
And speaking of the out-of-town scoreboard, it's the bottom of the 6th inning in Brantford as the Red Sox take on the Maple Leafs. The Red Sox are winning 8-5 right now. I mean, that is a thrilling contest. Two teams looking for a win, trying to gut one out. So keep an eye on that one as this game progresses.
And the count moves to 2-1 for Deans. And he puts in I believe that was a changeup, like a high changeup for strike number 2. Counts even. And that one's hit off of the foot of the batter, Brandon Houpe, and that's gotta hurt.
Oh yeah, you can see he is shaken up. He's trying to walk it off. Trainer's out to check in on him. Oof, that was, yeah, hard to watch. Like, just the foul immediately coming down towards his ankle, and he collapsed as soon as it hit.
Yeah, not what you want to see if you're the Welland Jackfish, but it looks like he will soldier on.
And ultimately, you love to see it. Not necessarily guys, toughing it out, but being able to stand up under their own power after being hit like that and just continuing the at-bat.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is low, and it'll load the count at 3-2.
Yeah, full count now against Houpe as Deans gets set in and delivers.
And that one's chopped to Morrow at short, and he misses it yet again. And Houpe will reach base safely, giving the Jackfish a leadoff base runner.
Yeah, it just hasn't been a good defensive night for Connor Morrow. Not one he's going to want to remember, but that being said, it's right there in the sentence. It's one game. It is just one game. It is something he can bounce back from, something he can learn from and improve upon for the next contest or very well the next meeting between these two teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's, yet again, I'm going to bring up mental health in baseball. It's such an important thing for him to just move on past this game. He knows his personal ability, and as the runner goes for second, and look at that, making up for the play right away, getting the tag down to get Houpe, and
see, that's exactly what you were talking about. Just being able to move on, keep playing, focus on, retiring one batter at a time. That is perfect. The throw from Ward definitely helped him out, but Morrow, just a great example right out there at shortstop.
Absolutely. And that's a swing and a miss, and that'll be an 0-2 count. Brandon Dean's looking great on the bump right now. And that'll miss outside for ball number 1, but again, not a bad pitch to throw in that situation to try and get the chase.
And while we're on the topic of next meetings, the Royals will stay at home to take on the Brantford Red Sox this Saturday, followed by a trip out to, you guessed it, Welland next Sunday to face off with these very same Jackfish.
Yeah, well, now as you were talking, Barrett retired with a strike.
And he just spiked his bat into the grass here at Hastings. He is not happy. I mean, he's had a very good night here. I mean,
just frustrated with the call from the home plate umpire.
Just frustrated.
And that's a fly ball down the line at left field.
Patterson chasing after it, and it looks like he will get to it in time. Amazing stuff from the Roadrunner, showing off those wheels and making the grab.
Yeah, and a play that's honestly impossible at a lot of MLB fields because he literally ran outside of the field boundaries.
Forget MLB, a whole lot of other IBL stadiums, but that is just one of the quirks. of Hastings. You love to see it. Patterson, just like Morrow, coming back, overcoming some of the struggles he's had previously in the game, and just moving on. So we are going to take things to the bottom of the 7th inning. Stay tuned to Guelph Royals TV because this one is really just getting underway. Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. Kicking things off for the home side will be Brando LaRue, but there is a new pitcher out on the mound. Noam, what can you tell us about him?
So this is Anthony Porchelato, his first IBL appearance. Pitched with the Weyburn Beavers of the Western Canadian Baseball League. As that one will land in foul territory. We believe that he's related to Mateo Porchelato. Both from BC, may or may not be brothers or cousins. We don't have that confirmed just
We don't
yet.
want to make any assumptions and it end up coming back to bite us, but same last name from BC, it's reasonable to assume. Nonetheless, a very talented pitcher getting his first ever IBL appearance.
As that's lined and it's booted by the second baseman Luther, and the Royals have a base runner to start the inning.
Yeah, Brando LaRue very quickly on board here in the bottom of the 7th. Luther has been extremely solid defensively all game long, so a rare mistake for him, and I think he can be afforded one or two after the performance he's put in out at second.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even call that bad of a play. The
No.
ball was hit hard, it was chopped, and he got the glove on it, covered some good distance, just missed it.
It took a Hastings hop, as Neil Srivastawa would say. And we do have official confirmation that it is, in fact, Mateo Porchelato's brother out there on the mound. Whew.
Good to know. All right.
Good to know.
Thank you, live stream chat.
Yeah, we didn't want to assume because IBL announcers curse and all that fun stuff, but yes, brothers out there on the field for the Jackfish.
And that pitch misses inside, and it's 1-1.
LaRue, a cautious lead out at first, kind of pacing back and forth, now taking a step over to his right.
Oof, and Burns has to jump out of the way of that one. But, you know, stat sheet records it the same. It's a ball.
2-1 now the count. LaRue still with a short lead out there at first. So that one's going to be chopped foul. Additionally, we can say that it is a pinch hitter for Mark Nellis. That is, in fact, Carson Burns, number 7. Burns, a 2-time All-Star with the Barry Bay Cats. An impressive pedigree as he just gets out of the way of that pitch. 3-2 now the count.
Burns hometown Orangeville, Ontario. Has first season in his second season with the Guelph Royals. Played with the Barrie Baycats from 2018 to 2024. 187 IBL games, as that one's chopped, and it'll go foul. He's got 187 IBL games, 163 hits, with 94 RBIs and 38 stolen bases across 7 seasons. So, a veteran, a good person to have in this situation when you're just looking to keep the line moving and get some base runners.
Anthony Porchelato, now a full count against Burns.
Checks the runner at first.
Gets set and delivers.
And that's a fly ball to left field. Fierstake is there, and he will bring it in for the out.
Yeah, not bad work at all.
Yeah, especially with how some of the outfielders have been losing the ball in the lights in the twilight tonight.
Yeah, good stuff from Fierstake as Porchelato gets settled in. Anthony Porchelato, we should say. Of course, the younger brother of Mateo. And yes, as we mentioned before, this is Anthony's IBL debut. Not a bad start so far.
And he'll face the hometown kid, Ashton Patterson. And that one misses low. Catcher maybe checking first.
Yeah, good work from Mullen to toss off the visor and immediately almost threaten LaRue like, I can pick you off if I want to. But, to be fair, on the other side of things, Ashton Patterson holding up the hand, stopping LaRue from making any sudden movements.
Yeah, just great communication all around from this Welland team.
Porchelato gets set, delivers the 1-0. A ball just outside, 2-0 now the count. LaRue, I mean, he hasn't shown any signs like he's going to be stealing. Pretty conservative lead there over at first.
And that one's in there for strike number 1 on the outside corner.
Yeah, playing it safe is LaRue, kind of hot-stepping back and forth, almost tempting Porchelato to try and pick him off. Something to keep an eye on as this inning continues.
And that one's hit on the ground to the second baseman. He'll throw it over to first, not getting the double play, and that's out number 2.
Yeah, Luther tossing it over to Mateo Porchelato over at first. And already 2 outs in the inning, but a runner at second. Still a dangerous inning, still something that Anthony Porchelato wants to try and quell to bring down, stop the Royals offense as Brando LaRue is going to head over to third base. Not only caught Anthony Porchelato off guard, caught us off guard as well.
And I think the umpires are going to have a conversation about this one. I'm not exactly sure what happened on that play.
I don't know. I mean, J.D. Williams, the leadoff batter, was coming in to the plate, and Brando LaRue just decided to steal third. I don't think there was any rhyme or reason to it. He totally could.
Well, heads up play.
Welcome to the IBL, kid. Keep your head on a swivel.
And that'll turn things over for J.D. Williams at the top of the order with a runner on third. And that misses low in the dirt. Mullen's able to stay with it, though, and keep the runner at third.
And there's that communication again. Pretty much every single Jackfish infielder calling out that the ball was loose, getting Mullen prepared for it. And again, communication, such a big element of this impressive Jackfish team.
And that one misses up and in for ball number 2. Williams working the count nicely. And yeah, I totally agree with you. That communication is part of the reason why these Jackfish are up so big right now. And that's a low 3-0 on J.D. Williams.
J.D., such a patient hitter. I mean, he's Mr. Left Turns Only. He loves to get on base, but it doesn't matter to him. Such fantastic veteran vision at the plate.
3-0. And that one's right down the middle for a strike. Williams taken all the way. In a situation like this, that's the right call, given that you want base runners.
He is letting Porchelato throw to him.
And then he swings and misses for strike number 2. Porcelato doing an excellent job to work the count to full. And that misses on the outer half. And J.D. Williams will head over to first and keep the line moving for Connor Morrow.
And that is that vision coming up again. J.D. Williams, just so good, able to spot that right out of Porcelato's hand.
Yeah, excellent at-bat from J.D. Williams, a professional at-bat, I would say. That'll bring up Connor Morrow. Morrow 0 for 2 on the day, but with a walk. He came around to score in the Royals' 4-run inning earlier.
And he's looking to bring a couple more Royals around to score. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, and a 1-0 count for him. Porcelato gets set and delivers.
And that's high and off the plate. 2-0 count.
Fastball that had Mullen moving. To his credit, we really haven't seen any passed balls. Nothing has really gotten past Mullen so far. A great defensive catcher as well as a great offensive asset for this Jackfish team.
And that swung on and missed for strike number 1. And I think to your point, it's been both an incredible defensive effort by the catcher, but also this Welland pitching staff has just been on this whole game. They're staying in the zone, and when they're missing, they're not missing too far off the plate. And even when the ball gets away from the catcher, like you mentioned before, that communication is key. And then he works it back to a 2-strike count. It's even at 2-2.
And for his first ever IBL appearance, Porcelato is throwing heat. You can hear the smack as it hits Mullen's glove. A name to watch out for the future.
If only we had a radar gun. And that one misses off the plate, and it'll make the count full.
Once again, a full count here in the inning. If nothing else, Anthony Porcelato, he knows how to work the batters. Knows how to bend them to his will.
Another thing, you could see Mullen directing his infielders. Again, just more communication from this Welland team. And that's a fly ball to center field. Morello is there and makes the catch, stranding the runners for the Royals. The score remains at 10-4. We head to the bottom of the 7th.
Welcome back, fans, to David E. Hastings Stadium. Joshua Alderman and Noam Streifer on the call. The visiting Welland Jackfish are leading 10-4, not exactly worlds apart, but we do have a new pitcher on the mound here in the top of the 8th inning. Break it down for us.
Yeah, so coming on to pitch, Gaku Ueda. It's his first season in the IBL, and if I'm being honest, it's a little underwhelming so far. In 10.2 innings pitched, has a 7.59 ERA and 9 strikeouts. But the track record is there. He represented the Japanese national team in the Caribbean Series in 2025, where he had a 1.26 ERA. My mistake, a 1.69 ERA.
Even better. So, obviously big expectations heading into the season, but we mentioned it for Deans earlier. Still a small sample size. Plenty of season left to go.
So that one's lined into the left center field gap, and Luther is aboard with the leadoff single for the Welland Jackfish.
Good work by Andy Leader to get the throw in, hold the runner. But still, not a good start, as that's going to turn things over to the top of the order. Jonah Weisner back up to bat.
I don't even know. I mean, it might be because he's the leadoff hitter, but it feels like we've been talking about this guy all night long. Just great defense at shortstop, and he's an incredible hitter, a great player at the top of this Jackfish lineup.
I feel like we've talked about pretty much all of these Jackfish players multiple times over. They have been up, down, and back again here tonight. Obviously, by the score, that's well indicated.
Good comeback pick from Ueda. He gets in there with the 0-1.
Yeah, the runner, Luther, taking a decent lead. Not quite looking like he's going to steal, but still hot on his toes.
Ueda misses low for ball number 1.
Yeah, Luther hot stepping over there at first. Really kind of dancing back and forth, almost teasing Ueda, telling him to make a toss, telling him, you know, go ahead, try me.
Ueda checks the runner, and he puts one on the outside corner for ball number 2. And an observation that I'm making about Ueda, he does a very nice job of hiding the ball as he's coming towards the plate. Something that reminds me of a former Blue Jay pitcher, Yusei Kikuchi.
Yeah, very Kikuchi-esque in the way he tucks the glove, and in doing so, the ball up and only lets the hitter see it when he releases it.
That's chopped to second. They'll get the out there, but the runner advances to first. It's a fielder's choice.
Okay. Many people may not agree with this. I love what Luther did there. He didn't follow through with his run. He kind of stopped, shimmy-shaked, and really, really threw off LaRue and Morrow, who were making the play at second. So still a runner on board. This time, still a runner at first with Jonah Weisner.
And Morello comes up to the plate. Morello, 1 for 3 on the day with a run scored and a walk. Yet another commanding presence at the top of this Jackfish lineup.
Ueda still checking in on the runner. Gets set. Taking his time. And delivers.
And that one's high for ball number 1.
Morello, a very intimidating presence, like you said, near the top of this Jackfish lineup.
Ueda spent time in the Colombian Winter League, where he pitched with a 1.26 ERA over 28 innings. And that one's inside for ball number 2, lacking the command that he was known for before coming to the IBL.
But still early in the season. Plenty of runway left to go to take off.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, plenty of time left in the season, so let's see if he can turn this inning around and give us perhaps a sign of things to come.
And the runner goes, and the throw is not in time. A great, great jump by Weisner.
Yeah, just a fantastic first step. Got there right in time. Morrow unable to put the tag down. The throw from Ward was a little bit late. Ueda had a tough time getting out of the way so that the throw could be made, but no blame rests on any party in that one, just a simple steal.
And a good one at that. 2-1, and that one's fouled back. That's strike number 2 into the parking lot yet again.
Yeah, plenty of souvenirs available for young fans prowling the parking lot after tonight's game. We've had, I want to say, guesstimate, close to a dozen at this point, out back towards the parking lot.
Yeah, funny story. Josh and I arrived at basically the same time for this game, and he told me I should move my car because I was parked right next to the field, and that was good advice, as that one's chopped foul.
Yeah, I think it'd be a little difficult to explain to your insurance provider why a baseball just so happened to get lodged in your front windshield. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that would be an interesting conversation, for sure.
Never a dull moment.
And the count's at 2-2 to Morello. Runner in scoring position.
Ueda taking his time with this one.
That one's chopped foul yet again. Morello putting good swings on the ball, staying alive.
Yeah, I feel like we've said this for pretty much every batter on both sides, but such great vision at the plate. I mean, if anything, that stands as a mark as to how experienced both of these teams are, how good both of these teams are on a given day. Morello, just one example.
Ueda checks the runner at second. The 2-2 is in there for strike number 3. And Morello does not look happy, shakes his head at the umpire, looks back as well, has some words for him.
He's got to be careful.
That is out number 2, and it will bring up Matteo Porcelato.
One of 2 Porcelatos in this game tonight for the Jackfish.
Yeah, Porcelato 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI and 2 runs scored.
Brings his stat line on both of those counts up to 3 RBIs and 5 runs scored on the season so far. Not a bad start from the youngster. Ueda taking plenty of looks at Wisner.
That one's chopped foul.
Porcelato took a pretty big hack at that one. No doubt in my mind that he is trying to cash in the runner at second.
Well, and especially at this point in the game with a lead as comfortable as this one, I'm sure the Jackfish are comfortable taking some bigger swings. As that one misses high and the count's at 1-1.
That being said, no lead is ever safe in the IBL. We have seen crazy comebacks before, but this Jackfish team is quite dominant. I honestly would be a little surprised to see it tonight, but hey, if there's anything these Royals have, it is heart, it is grit, it is determination, and a fight to the end.
As that one misses off the plate, 2-1 count.
Yeah, it looked to me like Ueda wasn't too pleased with that call either. Kind of making some hand motions, muttering some stuff towards the umpire's general direction.
Gotta be careful.
And that goes for both sides.
Looks back at the second base, looks again. And misses outside yet again. The count's 3-1. So after a first pitch strike, loses his command for 3 pitches in a row and now is facing a walk.
And that's the thing where it gets to be a little concerning is it's not like he's throwing, splitters, knuckleballs, anything too fancy. It's really just pretty textbook fastballs and breaking balls, and on a given day, those can work to your benefit, but maybe not here.
As that's a fly ball that will get out of play, foul.
Patterson feigns running after it. Gets a little chuckle from the kingdom here at Hastings. Now a full count against Matteo Porcelato. Ueda gets set, takes his time, shakes off back-to-back signs from Matthew Ward. Finally gets something he sees, something he likes.
And the payoff pitch. And swing and a miss, strike 3. Great job by Ueda to come back from a 3-1 count and get the strikeout.
No runs, a hit.
It's the Royals 10, sorry, the Jackfish 10, the Royals 4, and we'll head to the top of the 9th. We are back for the top of the 8th here at David E. Hastings Stadium. And we got a new pitcher for the Welland Jackfish, Halen Knoll. Josh, you want to give your thoughts?
Well, the Rook is looking pretty strong to start the season. A 2.07 ERA across 3 games played. He has 4 innings pitched. He struck out 1, walked 2, and has only given up 2 hits across those 4 innings.
Yeah, a good signing, a good young pitcher for the Welland Jackfish. He spent time with the Fort McMurray Giants of the Western Canadian Baseball League in 2019 and 2022. He did his undergrad at the University of Mary, a Division II school in the NCAA.
So plenty of baseball experience and still just 25 years old.
We also have a pinch hitter coming in for the Guelph Royals. David Alvarez has come in to replace Brandon Luther? Andy Leader, thank you. And that one's chopped foul.
Yeah, David Alvarez, just 21 years old, the Woodbridge native, spent last season with the Brantford Red Sox. And this season, batting 150, 3 hits, 1 double, 1 RBI, but has struck out 7 times.
As that one's hit on the ground to the shortstop, he flips it over to first for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, great play there. Wisner tossing it over to Mateo Porcelato. And very quickly, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Your first baseman, number 4, Garrett Takamatsu.
That is going to bring up first baseman Garrett Takamatsu, former MVP. Got the fun started for the Royals back in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Takamatsu 2 for 3 on the night with a run scored and an RBI. It's been a centerpiece of this Royals order. As that's a fly ball.
Porcelato really chasing after it.
He makes the play for out number 2.
Yeah, does get to it just in time and in front of a little crowd of welcoming Welland fans.
And Knoll working quickly to get 2 outs on just 3 pitches.
Yeah, that is impressive stuff from the youngster. Very, very promising signs. But he does have a tall task in front of him in catcher Matthew Ward. Matthew Ward, just 23 years old. Mentioned before his impressive stuff that he put on display at Niagara University.
Ward, batting .385 over 9 games this season with the Royals. Hometown Mississauga, Ontario, not too far from here.
Yeah, just a little bit of a drive.
And the 1-0's off the plate. It's a 2-0 count.
Now, we talked about the pitching change, David Alvarez coming into the game. Let's talk about a defensive substitution for the Welland Jackfish. Behind the dish now is number 8, Russell Young, stepping in to the catching spot, replacing Robert Mullen.
And that's a ground ball to the third baseman. Nice little flip to the hand. And he throws it on for the out. And that's a very, very quick inning for Halen Knoll, as the Jackfish still lead 10-4 heading to the top of the ninth. And we're back for the top of the ninth here at David E. Hastings Stadium. And we've got a new pitcher, Edgar Garcia, who apparently has been the guy for the Royals this year. Josh, you want to give your thoughts?
Yeah, those were my words exactly. Edgar Garcia has been the guy out of the pen so far. Just 28 years old, but he has just an amazing track record of experience, has played up and down minors and majors alike, and heading into tonight's contest, a 0.00 ERA across 5 games played, has 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, and 4 walks given up, but has also struck out 5 and has 2 saves to his name. But he comes in with, like I said, a wealth of experience in MLB and the affiliated system.
Yeah, he spent time in the majors with 4 different teams, the Philadelphia Phillies, Tampa Bay Rays, and Cincinnati Reds and Minnesota Twins. Played on and off, got called up from AAA to MLB in 2019 through 2021. Again, somebody with a lot of experience, a veteran presence in this Royals bullpen.
Yeah, veteran at just 28. I mean, that's all you got to say. The guy is so darn impressive and has an amazing future in baseball. Now, before I was so rudely interrupted by that ground out at the end of the bottom of the 8th, Russell Young is the catcher now for the visiting Jackfish.
And he'll take a first pitch strike on the upper part of the zone.
Now, Russell Young, the rookie in his first year in the IBL, doesn't quite have the best stat line, a 0.00 batting average with 1 run scored, but looking to make an impact late in this one.
And again, the track record is there for him. He's batted, his career .301 hitter across 185 college and summer league games, and he was an NAIA standout with UBC in 2023. The 0-2 is hit on the ground to the second baseman, and he flips it on to Takamatsu at first for out number 1.
Yeah, great job by Brando LaRue there. just getting all over that ball. Showing off the wheels as well. A great first step from him. Steps in, tosses over to Takamatsu, and it is elementary.
Baseman, number 13, Jake Sanford.
And that'll bring Jake Sanford to the plate. Sanford, 0 for 3 on the day with a walk and a run scored.
But still very impressive stat line heading into tonight's contest. Of course, one of the holdovers from last year's team. 381 batting average, 16 hits across 9 games heading into tonight's contest. A triple, a homer, and 6 RBIs. Not a stat line to scoff at. He has been very, very impressive for this Jackfish team, but tonight just hasn't been his night.
And we have 2 former minor league baseball players facing each other right now. Sanford spent time with the Staten Island Yankees and the Tampa Tarpons of low A and high A.
And that's what makes the IBL such a fun and interesting league, is you've got so many players with affiliated ball experience. You know, this isn't just any summer league. This is the best summer league, I'll say it, in Canada, in North America, that you can find. Great experience live in person, great experience on broadcast, and these players, well, they're taking the brunt of the work.
And the 0-2 is fouled straight back. And to your point, Josh, there's both players who did affiliated ball and also, for lack of a better term, nobodies. People who have come on and tried out for teams having just played high school or, Division III college baseball and are now competing with former draft picks, which is just an incredible thing.
And that's what you love to see is, sure, they may not have, a lengthy baseball reference stat page, but at the end of the day, they're baseball players, plain and simple, and that's what the IBL is all about. Canadian talents, import talents, international stars, and homegrown boys alike getting a chance to shine under the bright lights all across this beautiful nation.
Garcia comes set.
Taking his time with this one.
The 0-2. And it's hit right back to Garcia. Nice play. Good reaction. And he flips it over to Takamatsu for the second out of the inning.
Not just flips it, underhand tosses it. I mean, he was all over that one, all in control. So now that is going to bring up Brandon Hupe.
Hupe's 2 for 4 on the night with a run scored and 2 RBIs.
Not too shabby.
Not pretty solid stat line.
Just 24 years old. Yet another holdover from last year's squad, looking to get a little revenge on these Royals.
Hupe scored in the big Welland inning, the 8-run inning. He capped it off the rally with a 2-run double.
First pitch from Garcia, down and out. 1-0 the count.
Garcia asking for a new ball.
Yeah, he's done that a couple times. I mean, I wouldn't call him superstitious, but really seems to want the perfect baseball for each of his throws.
And that one's up and in for ball number 2. Checks with the first base umpire. He did not go.
And that's another thing. Just like Anthony Porchelato for the Jackfish earlier in this contest, you can hear just the smack the ball makes when it enters the catcher's glove. Plenty of heat from Garcia tonight.
A swing and a miss for strike 1. Comes back from a 2-0 count. Makes a great payoff pitch.
2 outs, no runners aboard, and a 2-1 count.
And that misses low and away for a 3-1.
Garcia, despite having, a 3-1 count against him, not looking shaken up. Looks like he is all business out there on the hill.
And that's a fly ball to center field. Williams calling for it. He comes in and he makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. What a job by Garcia setting down the Jackfish in order. It's 10-4, and we head to the bottom of the 9th, the last chance for these Guelph Royals. Back here at David E. Hastings Stadium for the bottom of the ninth. New pitcher for the Welland Jackfish, Danny Howitt. Howitt, youngster, 21 years old. Josh, any thoughts?
Well, he's in his 4th IBL season, and his stat line very impressive. 2.70 ERA across 2 games. He has 3 innings pitched, has given up 2 hits, has given up 0 walks, and has struck out 3. And right away, having a conversation at the mound with Russell Young. Could have just been communication issues. Could have gotten wires crossed. As Howitt gets set.
Hammond at the plate. And he hits a fly ball. Burns is there, and he'll make the catch in foul territory. A quick 1 pitch out.
I believe that's Sanford that made the play, but nonetheless, two very impressive defensive third basemen. And that is going to bring up a pinch hitter for these Royals. For Brando LaRue, that is Blake Simpson stepping up to the dish. First pitch high, 1-0 the count. Howitt taking his time in between these pitches, as that one sent sky high into left field, but Feuerstake right there to grab it, and just like that, the Royals are down to their very last out in this contest.
Number 7, Carson
It is going to bring up Carson Burns, representing the last hope for the Royals in this one.
Burns on the day. Burns came in as a pinch hitter earlier, just one at bat and did not get a hit.
Well, looking to reverse his fortunes here when it counts the most. I mean, they say diamonds are made under pressure. Well, it is time for Burns to shine bright.
And that's swung on and missed for a strike. It's a 1-1 count. Burns not off to the greatest start this season in 17 at bats, batting just 176 with only 3 hits and 1 RBI on the year. As that's fouled out of play. Counts at 1-2.
Yeah, as we've mentioned with many a player before, still plenty of season left to go, plenty of runway where you're able to take off. But right now, the situation is dire.
As that one's fouled back, staying alive.
He got a little jammed up right there. That almost came off the tape on the handle of the bat. That was really inside, but Burns, to his credit, tried to swing, tried to stay alive.
Burns, solid player in the past, as that one is lined to left field.
Feuerstake chasing after it and making the grab
to end this ball game. It's the Welland Jackfish 10, the Guelph Royals 4.
Well, this was just a dominant display by the Welland Jackfish. We mentioned right off the top of the broadcast that they were looking for revenge. Of course, they got upset last year in the semifinals of the Dominico Cup playoffs, and they have been stewing on that all off season. They've been thinking about it, and now finally getting their revenge tonight. Just a dominant showing from top to bottom, from bench to the infield to the outfield, everything in between. It was a big night for the Jackfish.
Yeah, absolutely. Starter Euclides Layer absolutely cooked on the mound, giving the Jackfish the length that they needed. A 6 innings pitched with only 4 earned runs, and then the bullpen shut things down, allowing no runs over 3 innings. Porchelato, Nolan, Howitt absolutely cooked.
But to their credit, these Royals stayed in it, played their hearts out till the very end, and had a big inning themselves. 4 runs in the 4th. Really good stuff, especially from their starter, Jordan Taylor, tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Taylor looked great tonight, very confident up until the up until the fifth inning, and yeah, just great stuff from him. The stat line might be a little bit inflated, but that doesn't justify just how good he looked at the start of this game.
Well, Noam, any last thoughts on tonight's matchup?
It was a fun one, and even though the Royals didn't pull through, they played the best team in the IBL tough, and I'm excited to see what they've got coming up.
Well, speaking of coming up, the Royals' very next home game is going to be this Saturday against the Brantford Red Sox, and like all Royals home games, you can catch that right here on Guelph Royals TV. Unfortunately, that is going to do it for tonight's broadcast, so bidding you adieu, goodbye, and good night. On behalf of our outstanding production team and Mr. Stryfer, I'm Joshua Alderman saying see you next time.